And Yvonne Savio brought this in, and it's Albucus spiralis, which is kind of sold mainly for this wonderful foliage, which looks like you did that, I don't know if you used to curl ribbon with scissors when you zip it, and it looks like you did that with the foliage of this. But they're these marvelous greenish flowers. They're really quite beautiful. I'm sure you grow this, don't you? And I've got a nice one too. It's sold quite often as kind of a novelty thing, and then you realize that it's pretty tough if you don't overwater it. It's actually a really nice plant. From South Africa, I'm pretty sure.
They smell it too.
They do? They actually do smell sort of good. There's a strange little undersmell there. It's not bad, it's just interesting. It's a Nicotiana, and there's a question mark, and this is brought in by, this is Eric and Ann Brooks. Where are they? Does it start a different color?
Nope,
it's always this, because it almost looks like Mutabilis, but it looks like maybe Mutabilis crossed with something. So I don't know if you've ever.
It did it by itself.
Have you ever grown Mutabilis?
Nope.
It's the one that starts green and then turns purple as it ages. So the flowers come out green and then they go purple. And it's tall, it's quite tall. Is this one fairly tall?
Yeah, pretty rangy. No, it's farther than that.
Anyway, there's a lot of different species of Nicotiana, so it may be a garden hybrid, or it may be just has lost its name. So it's interesting. It's really quite pretty, and no fragrance though.
No, it's sticky.
Erythranthe cardinalis, which I think used to be called something else. Mimulus, yeah, of course. So this is scarlet monkey flower, and if I remember, is this a riparian?
Yes.
Yeah, it's riparian habitat, so it wants a moist soil. It can go dry between waterings, but it does need regular waterings. And when you water it, you should drench it and then leave it be for a while. And it's a good hummingbird flower. So, California native, by the way. Aromophila, Calorados?
Yes, I practice.
Okay. Aromophila calorados. It's from inland Australia, so very dry, I would assume, dry growing. And it looks like that is just really peculiar. It's really interesting, but it's
supposedly if you prune it, it can get bushy.
They can,
but I've only just ever seen the spikes. I don't know where you would prune it on them to make it.
She's saying, I don't know if you could hear her, that supposedly if you prune it, you can make it bushy, but she doesn't know where to cut it. And it's probably like me, I'm a chicken to do that. Or you cut one of them and then you get this wonky looking thing that's really strange. But I really like that. Eochroma, pretty in pink. The Eochromas are from Central America, I think, Mexico and Central America. I think so. Ecuador, it says on this. So all the way down into South America and Central America. The Eochromas are relatives of Daturas and Brugmansias. They're Solanaceae. Probably have some toxins in the foliage, so you should be careful when you're clipping them and things that you don't get squirted in the eye, because that's actually from Brugmansia. That's where belladonna comes from. We're doing dilating pupils, so you want to be careful with this. It's also a psychotropic. Be really careful. Another hummingbird plant, the blue one, or the purplish blue one, Iochroma cyanea, that's much more common in the trade. I have one that is immense. It's probably 40 years old, and it's hummingbird central. They fight over it during the daytime. They just fight constantly, so everyone wants it as part of their territory. This is Gladiolus starfish. So this is probably a hybrid off of the species form of glads from South Africa. This is really, really beautiful. It's so airy looking. Most of the species glads have this kind of look to them where they're very narrow foliage, narrow stems, and they're actually, if you look at them, they're built to grow in grasslands. They come up past the grasses and then flower. And so they're brief but spectacular. And I know that this is, April brought these in, and I think you're threatening to remove these from your garden because they don't last long enough. But they're so gorgeous. They're just so pretty. This is Gladiolus cardinalis, another one from South Africa. And they've hybridized these. You can buy bulbs during the winter of different color forms, and you will then sometimes get seedlings come up and they'll do their own hybridizing. So they're quite interesting. If you can find them, it's getting harder and harder to find these things. You have to go to like specialized sales and things to get these. But I've always preferred, this is personal, I always throw in a personal thing and get myself in trouble. But the big hybrid gladiolus, I despise those things. Half of my family, I won't say which half, is kind of white trash. So we call them white trash funeral flowers. And I just think of those gladiolus on a spray, on an easel, at a funeral, and I just hate them. But these are gorgeous. So there's my little personal dig for them. Swainsonia gallidifolia, and the Swainsona, sorry. So this is called the darling pea, and it is. How big does this get? About 2.5 feet.
But yeah, that's my third try with this plant.
If April is having trouble with it on her soil, which is valley drained, well-drained soil, and it's from Australia, then I don't know what it wants to grow in. If you're having trouble with it, but
does it have fragrance? No.
No, not the fragrance at all. But did you check the foliage? The foliage is beautiful. Flowers are gorgeous, but the foliage is really nice. We have 3 different things in here. There is Tritonia. Which one is it? Tritonia lanata. Allium I will say unifolium, and it's unifolium. So that's our native allium. Tritonia, that's probably not, this is South African. And then the other is the that's leucocoroide, okay. Which is Glory of the Sun from Chile or Peru.
South America?
Yeah, South America. It's Chile or Peru. These, easy, not always so easy with the leucocoroide. Those need perfect drainage to thrive, and they come in really startling colors. So this is just a beautiful bouquet. And from the host of our recent Coffee in the Garden that was on the 4th, this is from Alfred Hockenmeyer. Did I get it right? Yes, I didn't mess up your name, right? So this is a bouquet out of his garden. There's all sorts of different things in here. There's Clarkia, Penstemon spectabilis, is spectabilis? I've forgotten the aloe already. Camperii, Aloe-Camperii, Larkspur, Feverfew, what looks like, is it Encelia or? It looks like a
regular sunflower.
Okay, it's regular sunflower, so just that's harsh. And thistle, our native thistles, Circeum occidentale, the cobweb thistle, which if there are any bumblebees left in your neighborhood, they'll find that plant and they love it. So anyway, thank you all for bringing these in, and come up and take a look at these.